Do you believe that the baddest person can change into a good one? And if you do, let's all witness the reason why the statue of Lucifer is inside the Holy Trinity Church. I stepped out the school bus. The sun above me was like the god golden disk in the sky, bathing the poor street. It was like a gleam saffron yellow blazing along the sky with fluffy white clouds that drifted lazily in the tender breeze. Elsewise, the building in front of me is quite noble and venerable, for this was built in 1828. I moved forward as my classmates pushed me. I just stared at them, running inside the church to see the statue of Lucifer. We are having field trip right now, and this place is one of our destinations. I tilted my gaze as I felt the hand of my teacher on my shoulder. "Come on, Zoe, are you not excited?" our teacher asked. I just smiled at her and just nodded. So we go inside and walk towards the statue of Lucifer. Lucifer is one of the fallen angels who became so impressed with his own self that he began to desire the power, the position, the honor, and glory that belonged to God alone himself. And when we're already inside the church, I saw two nuns smiling while discussing what was the statue about. I walked towards them to listen to the discussion about the statue. I stared at the whole piece and got totally impressed by the structure itself. I wonder if this is really true or just man-made. The wings has long and soft feathers. Lucifer is kinda oily and was colored with a black one to tell us that he's a devil, and he was burned stepping inside his church. So Lucifer did really commit himself to God? One of my classmates asked. I turned my gaze to my classmate who looked amazed to what he saw. The two nuns smiled at us. The one spoke and pointed the nun beside her and said, "Sister Elise will explain that. I'm done with my part." She chuckled and they all laughed. "This story is unbelievable," Sister Elise said, and then she smiled. "It's really impossible for a demon to give himself to God alone, right? Especially that Lucifer was the first one who turned his back to God, and we all know that." So we nodded as our response. "But everything has changed when he met a human," she trailed off. "Oh my God, what? Did he fall in love?" Numerous comments filled the entire place. The two nuns laughed and our teacher as well. "Well, we are teenagers. We really hook up with love stories, no doubts." The nun nodded. "Yes, but as what I've known, he visited the world because he was so bored in his throne. He wanted to encourage all people to go with him, so he really tried his best to fool the people around him. He disguised as a successful man. He had everything, everything." And she walked towards the statue of Lucifer. Until he met the woman by accident. He was mesmerized by the beauty of the woman. I heard that she's beautiful as thousands of sheep would stop just to see her. Lucifer was distracted. So after minutes of staring at the woman, he shrugged to himself, and it's normal, and it's nothing. But deep within, he cannot deny the fact that he was enchanted by the lady. His heart skipped, and it's not normal for him. So as a devil, he made a devil plan, of course, and then she chuckled. He visited the girl every single night, but what? What's next? All of us asked the same question. The two sisters giggled. "Jill, you're too much interested, huh?" The one spoke. "We just all laughed because they're being too funny. I can't imagine a funny nun. I thought all they do is pray." But Lucifer found out that the girl was not sleeping. Rather, she was crying the whole night until she fell asleep in her tears. "Oh, poor girl," one of my classmates commented. Then one time, while the girl was outside her house smoking, he was about to scare her to death so he can take her soul away. But, unfortunately, he failed. The girl saw him and he thought he was a friend, so she ran into him and hugged him so tight. Then Lucifer's heart betrayed him. Wow, so unexpected. Then what happened? I feel embarrassed because of my classmates as I saw how they react the moment the girl hugged Lucifer. "He hugged her too," Sister Ellis responded. Wow, sana all. One of my classmates cut her off. I hit her on her neck since she's beside me only. She's too noisy, wanting me to choke her. The nun laughed at us. So after that day, Lucifer was still in his disguise. He found out that the woman was depressed, but had a brave soul. Lucifer wanted to fool her, so he wrote all the tricks and craziness of the woman. Then they became friends, and you wouldn't believe that he fell in love with the girl after 3 months. In short, Lucifer fell in his own trap. Our eyes became bigger. Some were screaming, some were smiling and cheering like they just seen the best movie in the television. Even I couldn't believe. Like, wow, did Cupid arrow Lucifer's heart? Lucifer was still in disguise as a man, so he will try his best to give everything to his girl. Do you know Lucifer became the best man for her? Lucifer spoiled her woman in everything. If he could only give the whole world to her, he will do. And now I know. That's how the devil showed his love. And then she chuckled. Lucifer forgot that he is a demon because of his girlfriend. And yes, after a month, the girl confessed to him too. Lucifer became the happiest man on earth, not on hell, because he often forgets his real identity before, they say. Not until the girl found out about his identity. She walked forward and shrugged. Lucifer cried for the first time about Madeline. Just hug her, and said it was fine. That was the first time Lucifer felt the fear. He was so scared of losing his woman. He said he changed because of her. He forgot his own life because of her. What's best? He got the love that he had been longing for. He was loved that for the first time someone accepted him after knowing his dark evil past. Madeline taught him that there's still out there who's willing to give him what he really deserved. And that's her. After realizing it, he asked forgiveness to God, because he couldn't believe that God can still be this kind to him after what he did. He was grateful for he had Madeline on his side always, for God let him experience to be happy and contented of what he had. And yes, he became contented finally. Madeline took away all the hatred in his heart. She also helped him to repent himself to God. So, that's the reason why he is here inside the church. He has changed because of Madeline. Unbelievable, right? Then she smiled at us. You're the devil I would love to deal with, Madeline whispered in his ear while hugging him. And you're the human I'd love to be with, Lucifer responded. You see, everyone can change if they want to. There's really good in every bad, and there is light in every dark. There is hope in everything. Even the baddest creature can turn into a good one. You just have to trust them, believe in them, and love them even at their darkest hours. And then she looked at the statue. How can you be so sure that the story is true? I sarcastically whispered to myself as I was looking at the statue. And then a moment of silence after. So, I turned my gaze to them and bit my lower lip as I realized that I said it loud. The nun genuinely smiled at me and said, because I was the one who put him here. I am Madeline Elise. Our eyes widened. She eyed the statue again and caressed Lucifer's face. A single tear escaped from her eye and said, he was the reason why I became a nun. I just want to take care of him until my last breath too.